Hello and welcome back to IRS. Welcome back to another race weekend with Tier 2. My controller is messed up. But yeah, welcome back everyone. We're live at Zandvoort in Netherlands for round 9. 18-minute qualifying session underway. Let's just make sure my controller's okay so we can actually stream this. Yeah, all good so far. Wet weather. 11 drivers on the wets, 10 now. LWB and Mario Bros at the moment opting for the inters. Wonder if it's going to be a wet race as well, or will it be drying up? I'm sure most people have not practiced Zandvoort in the wet, so this is going to be a bit of an unknown for a few people. Let me turn my TV up so I can hear it. There we go. I've got a few debuts here today. We've got R1 Gio riding up alongside his teammate for his first race of the season, and Mr. Naked Danish in the Mercedes, who's coming out onto track just about now. And the Aston Martin of R1 Ray, so we'll keep an eye out on those two drivers, see what they can do. But can anyone stop this man here in the Alpine? Tino Tiberian, pole sitter for the last 4 races, so 4 out of 4 in the last 4 races for him. 1 lap pace is absolutely exquisite, very good, around 1 lap in qualifying, as you can well tell from the last 4 qualifying sessions. LWB championship leader is being gifted a good opportunity here today, because his championship rival Sick Pig is unfortunately not here today due to his daughter being in a hospital with a broken arm, I believe it is, so best wishes to her, hopefully a quick recovery. So unfortunately he's not here today to challenge LWB in the championship, so best result for him would be LWB crashing out. Don't really want to say it, but that's his best chance he's got of losing some points. Tino Tiberian on a flying lap, coming up through sector 1. If it was dry weather, we'd be looking at high 108s for pole position. Due to it being wet, I'm not really sure what the sort of times we're looking at here. Maybe 112s, 113s possibly? I don't know. I don't know what the wet weather is. Maybe a bit higher than that. 116s, 117s. We'll soon find out. Outlaw in the Discord, ain't no fucking way it's a wet race and I'm not there. One of the wet weather experts in the chat there. As Tino's looking a bit snaky, but of course he's looking very quick. Okay, a bit more than that in his wet weather. It's going to be into the 120s then. I don't know why I was thinking 112s, 113s. It's going to be a 124.5 on the first flying lap of the day. It is complete from Tino. Next up is R1 Gio, quite a way off that as he smacks the wall on the exit there. I'm not sure if he's preparing for a lap here. That's quite a way off the pace, 6 seconds. LWB 2.5 seconds off. What am I doing? I need to get the right. There we go. Wow, Jager. 125.8, a decent opening lap there. We've got Epi coming up to the line, 26.666. R1 Ray up to P2, 25.3, had a good, I think it was his debut last week, finished 3rd I think it was. So he had a good result last week. Mr. Naked Danish, 129.4 in the Mercedes. While his teammate is just starting a lap now, easing his way out of turn 1. So yeah, again, Tino the man to beat. Early on in this qualifying session, still 13 minutes to go. You do get a point for pole position. Fastest lap was removed, so no point for fastest lap, but there is a point for pole position. as Matty's looking a bit shaky, sliding about a bit. And Riz really wanting to let go as his teammate is just ahead of him. Hopefully he jumps out of the way. Bit of dirty air for his teammate through that corner there, but not costing too much. Yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's someone just coming out of the pits possibly. Or just on a slow lap, getting out of the way of drivers. We've got on board with Matty coming into the final corner then. Teammate currently is sitting P7. Bit wide on the exit, takes too much curb, cost himself a good exit. Got a yellow flag from a Haas in sector 1. 27.0 from Matty, goes P5. As his teammate, Mr. Naked Danish, starts a new lap. Must have a couple of laps, 3 or 4 laps of fuel on board. So you're going again as someone's front wings on the floor there, as Mr. Naked Danish running a bit wide there. Pretty tentative on the throttle as we head up the hill to the sector 1 checkpoint, and he's a 10th up. Let's see if we can finish this lap off strong and find some more time. Just missing a couple of apexes there. Wants to turn in a bit more earlier. Try to get on the brakes a bit earlier to get himself a better exit. Into what would be the DRS checkpoint, but turned off due to the wet weather. Not really using the battery as much as Mr. Naked Danish. Could be up on a bit of, probably over a second now. He could be up on this time if you used a bit more battery. Maybe you're saving that for later on and just getting used to it in the wet weather. But he's on a good lap here. Big improvement as he starts to drain the battery now. Down towards the line. And it is a 27.6, close to P7. I think there's still a lot of time in that lap there. I think he could have used the IRS during this first sector after this little section here. When he comes out of this left-hander, he could have used the IRS all the way up the hill as well, so he could find a lot more time here. Matty Furr's actually gone up to P2. So the Mercedes, a decent pace here today. 25.1 in the wet for Matty. 6 tenths away from Tino, who's now on the Inters. LWB, how's he getting on? Currently 1.2 down on his time. Still out there on the Inters. Bit of traffic going into turn 1. From Kentrum, who's just started a lap as well, so LWB starting his lap at the wrong time. Kentrum's on the lap, so that's not going to be no impeding really. That's now invalidated, so Kentrum should really get out of the way because he's invalidated his lap now. IRS LB44, 28.2, his teammate 29.2, also on a lap. 6 tenths up from the Ferrari. Coming into sector 1, made a massive mess of that though, just got on too much of the throttle. Someone's front wing again as Mario runs wide, has to have bought his lap. The IRS LB44 I think just had a spin as well, so Ferrari struggling in this wet weather. Epi taking a bit too much curve, they had to have a big lift. Bit of traffic ahead of him at the moment, 2 Hasses who have moved up to 25.2 for just Pitchy and Raj Jager. Up to 25.8 as Tino Tiberian sets a new fastest lap of a 24.2 on the Inters. So Inters possibly looking the quickest now, as 3 of the top 4 are on the Inters. As we're on board with Epi, he's giving that Red Bull everything he's got. He's got a lot of ERS to use as well here. I think people need to start using that IRS a bit more. 26.0, as we've got a new fastest lap there from Ray in the Aston Martin. 25.1. He's on the wets though, so maybe as the wet weather's still faster. Wet weather tyres, sorry, still faster. It's a bit of a mixed signal we're getting here from drivers. Not knowing which tyre is really the fastest, it's just can you get a clean enough lap in. Matty's got up to 24.9, so we've now got 3 drivers in the 24s, which is good. Matty's having a really good qualifying session here in his wet. Just pitchy in the box. Jaeger, P6. Is Epi improving? What about Mr. Danish? He's improved to a 26.4, so he's found some time. 3 attempts down this lap. Might want to get back into the pits, possibly change the tyres, and then go again for the rest of the session. IRS LB44 does a 27.5, as LWB on the Inters does a 23.0, so Inters are now definitely the tyres to be on. I think that's a big gain. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers at the end of the session all switching over onto the Inters as Epi moves up into P5. Who else we got? Mr. Naked Danish. IRS LB44 has just improved to 26.6, decent lap there. I think he needs to dive into the box, get some Inters on now, find some good improvements on those tyres. Gio is struggling down the back, the other Aston Martin, 27.7. I think it might be time for him to possibly get some Inters on as well. You see a much drier line now. Ooh, that's a dodgy pit entry there from Gio. On board with Mario Bros coming through sector 2. Is he up on his time coming into the checkpoint? We shall find out now. Yes, he is. 3 temps up. Just taking a bit too much throttle there, which has carried the Ferrari a bit wide, cost his exit. But we were really gentle there, try to let the car rotate itself without any throttle or minimal throttle as he runs a bit wide there on the exit. This is one track that I'm actually pretty good at myself, to be fair, so I know that. 27.2, only half a tenth quicker. And there's more time for the Ferraris as IRS LB44 dives into the pits. A lot of drivers now in the pits as we go on board with just Pichi, who's 7 temps up, but clips the grass and has cost himself a load of time. Probably that whole 7 temps he's just cost himself there. Lighting up those rear tyres. Runs a bit deeper than what he would have liked. Cost himself the exit. Putting himself under pressure now as he's trying to make that Haas go faster around this damp track. Applies the DRS. We'll see if there's any improvement. It's still a 1 second improvement, so even though he ran wide, made a bit of a hash of those couple of corners there, he's still on a big improvement. So I think just Pitchy is going to have to go again and could be on for pole position or in the top 3 at least if he can get another lap correct. It's going to be a very good lap here still, considering the mistakes he made as he crosses the line. It's a 23.8, so I still think just Pitchy there as a runner for pole position if he can get the lap 100% correct and get rid of those mistakes that he made during that one. As we've got a few drivers now preparing to start a lap. Got Matty, Tino and Ray all in the same sector, ready to start a lap, but Tino's dived into the pits. He's going for the Inters. He changed his mind. As we go on board with Matty and into turn 1, can he get it right? What about Ray? We'll stay on board with Ray for this one. Kentrum's the only driver yet to set a time as he comes up to the line. Finally gets one on the board. P11, 27.5. As we watch Ray in the Aston Martin, trying to take away pole position from LWB. It's a 5/10 improvement in sector 1 alone. We should start to see everyone out on track here. Still waiting for the 2 Ferraris to get out on track with the Inters. They're leaving it a bit late. Everyone else is sort of out on track now with the Inters, testing them out. Ferrari is leaving it very late here. As Ray runs a bit wide there on the exit, won't cost him too much time though. As he's now 1.2 seconds up and on the way to taking pole position, or provisional pole position. Had a bit of a mistake there as well. Just gets a bad exit. Applies a bit of IRS before he heads down towards the final corner, rides a bit of a curb. Around the banking. Applies the ERS. And what sort of time is this going to be? It's going to be a 1:22.8. Takes provisional pole. Matty only managed to 23.2, which is 4/10 of pole position. We've got LWB coming into the final corner, who's a second up, so he's actually going to be snatching his pole position away from Ray pretty easily as he drains the battery down towards the line to hit a 1:21, I think it is, a 1:21.7, 1.2 seconds clear. Ray's up onto his time, but if I was him, I'd turn the battery off and go and get the last lap. Just pitchy, 1.3 seconds up. Can he take a surprise pole position? He's run wide. That's possibly cost him the chance of taking pole position there. Just that little mistake there. Just pitchy around the banking. Can he take a surprise pole position out of nowhere? Epi moves up to P4. Just pitchy, 22.5. Quite a way off there. 8 attempts in the end away from LWB. We've got Ray's actually ragging the car. Matty into the final corner. Where's Tino? Tino is just starting the lap now. He's leaving it very late. While Jager up to P6. Mr. Naked Danish has decided to stay out on the wet weather tyres. So is IRS LB44, which is a big surprise. Mario Bros is 6 attempts up alone in sector 1 being on the Inters. So a few people making a mistake here by not going into the pits with the Inters, as LWB is going to get another chance here actually. Just crosses the line in time, so we're going to go on board with Mr. Naked Danish, who's not going to be improving, so that's the end of his qualifying session. Ray has retired on the track, which hopefully doesn't get in the way of LWB there, because that could be an impeding penalty, as IRS LB44 moves up to P8. Gio finally gets a decent lap in, moving up to P8 ahead of IRS LB44. We're going to have Epi crossing the line and take pole position from LWB by 25 thousandths of a second, but we've still got Tino Tiberian in the Alpine who could ruin it for everyone else, which he hasn't. Only moves up to P5, so the pole position streak is finally over for Tino Tiberian. We've got Wild Jaeger, who's currently P7. Can he get any higher up than that? No, he can't. Matty Burr in the Mercedes, can he take away P5 from Tino? No, he can't, and that is the end of qualifying. No, it's not, because we've got LWB, sorry, who was just about up on his time by 33 thousandths of a second. Only needs 25 thousandths of a second to take away pole position from Epi, who I don't think has pole position this season at all. But here comes LWB. Can he snatch it away in the last second? Yes, he can. Only just in the final seconds of the qualifying session, LWB, the championship leader, snatches pole position away from Epi by only 15 thousandths of a second. There's your confirmation. Very good qualifying session here in the wet weather. Pole position changing all the time. But in the end, LWB comes out on top. I'll be back in about... Oh, I need to add these guys. Don't ready up. Alright, I said to them not ready up, but they've ready up. So here we go then, 5 lights, and away we go. Effie's got a decent start. Tino's out of the race already, and there's a big collision with the 2 Ferraris as well in the background. Ray's also out. I think we might have to restart the lobby there. We've got Ray and Tino out of the race.